Kevlar just a gimmick? Tough to say. I don't think so, but even if it is, I like it on this paddle face. So today we're going to be looking into the Pickleball Apes Pro Line Energy and the Pro Line Energy S. That's a mouthful.
Bert Hermgeif. Irv Hermlinger.
Okay, so we are going to be kind of, comparing the two paddles and how they stack up to the rest of the paddle landscape. The original Energy made some buzz and is still making some buzz because of its very attractive price and its unique shape. And it was, as far as I know, at least the first to come to market with this Kevlar / carbon fiber weave hybrid face. I will say, when I first got the original Energy, my first impressions is that I thought the pattern on the face looked pretty cool, and I even liked their logo. It gives me gorillas and Sun Wukong vibes. If you know, you know. But I didn't have any high hopes for it, to be quite honest with you. Now, I thought the paddle would be quite generic, and to my delight, it was quite a joy to use on the first hit. When I first took it out of the box, the pattern to me looked like it wouldn't have any grit or texture, but to my surprise, it had a pretty decently rough texture. The higher swing weight coupled with the elongated shape and extra long handled was also quite refreshing to see. You don't see these type of elongated shapes, much less a handle this long on a paddle typically. And I've never really liked this blade shape, which I have played with in the past from the likes of the Vulcan V930, V730, and the Wilson Juice XL. However, the Energy just had a great overall package that I thoroughly enjoyed. It's quickly become a favorite of mine, and although it's not the best performer in any one category, the combination of what it does well and how it feels when striking the ball makes it just really fun to use for me. Now, with how positive my experience was with the original Energy, I had high hopes for the Energy S, and I'm kind of sad to say that it did not meet my expectations. Now, that doesn't mean that it's bad by any stretch of the imagination. It just doesn't stand out to me. Don't get me wrong, the performance is there, especially when compared to its raw carbon fiber faced counterparts out on the market right now. But that unique combination of feel and performance that I got with the original Energy is just not there with the Energy S for me. Now let's try and unpack why that is. The most obvious difference between the two is the shape. The Energy comes in at 17 inches in height with a width of 7 inches, while the S is 16.4 inches tall by 7.6 inches. Basically, the S is a bit shorter and a bit wider. It also has an every so slightly shorter handle, but I doubt anyone would complain about that. It's still plenty for the majority of players out there if you prefer a long handle or use a two-handed backhand. Now, what does that mean in terms of performance for you? Well, the S is a bit faster to swing. It's more forgiving on off-center shots, and this just makes it better for blocking, dinking, and rolls. In contrast, the original Energy, with its longer and narrower paddle face, is a bit better for ground strokes from the back of the court. The higher swing weight in the elongated version also helps in this department as well. With the extra reach and leverage that you get, you can expect more powerful serves, returns, and drives. You might even be able to reach for a few more flicks and take a few more balls out of the air while dinking in the kitchen with it. All right, now moving on. Spin between the two is about the same to me, or at least I couldn't noticeably tell anything that different between the two. What is noticeable though is the touch. I think the Energy feels better in my opinion, which is the elongated one, surprisingly. Both of these, however, do have great feel though, and I think the Kevlar in combination with the face assists with that great feel that you get. Carbon fiber is generally considered to be harder and more rigid than Kevlar, so carbon fiber is like a composite material made up of carbon atoms bonded together in a crystalline structure. This structure gives it exceptional stiffness and strength depending on the direction the carbon fiber is layered, making it a popular material to work with when rigidity and lightweightness is important, such as in aerospace, automotive, and most importantly of all, pickleball paddles. Now, Kevlar, on the other hand, is a synthetic fiber. While it is strong and lightweight, it is not as inherently rigid as carbon fiber. Kevlar is known for its flexibility and resistance to impact, which is why you see it applied to protective gear, where the ability to absorb and distribute impact is important. In summary, carbon fiber is generally harder and more rigid than Kevlar, but Kevlar has some properties that make it suitable where flexibility and impact resistance are more important than just, sheer rigidity. So carbon fiber to give you some power and Kevlar to give you some touch. And I do feel that this kind of combination of Kevlar and carbon fiber gives the Proline Energy and Proline Energy S its more unique feel, but more on that later. I think the Energy is like a better feeling paddle, and I will touch back on that in a bit. Now, both of these paddles are 16 millimeter core thickness, unibody thermoform construction, and both have the same Kevlar and carbon fiber hybrid face. So I thought that the Energy S would have a better feel with that wider body and more forgiving face, but the sweet spot feels smaller than it should when compared to other similar shaped paddles on the market, such as the Volair Forza, the Ronbus R1 Nova, the R1 Pulsar, the Double Black Diamond, and the Flash series from that. When you compare the Energy with the Energy S, I actually feel they have very similar sweet spots, but the elongated Energy's sweet spot is just shifted higher on the paddle face. To me, the Energy S just feels more rigid than I would expect when hitting a bit off center. Now, it's not bad or anything, but it just didn't quite meet my expectations. All right, moving on to spin. Now, what you can expect from both of these paddles is good spin. Nothing that is mind-bending, but you won't have any qualms about generating spin with these paddles. Definitely currently in the top tier, but it's not winning any awards for spin. If there was a difference in spin potential between these two paddles, I couldn't tell you. What I can tell you is when it comes to power and pop, these two paddles are also not going to be winning any awards. This doesn't mean that these paddles are soft by any stretch of the imagination. However, I do think that these two paddles skew a little bit more control than they do power, at least when compared to other similar constructed paddles on the market. So is it dope or nope? Well, the original Energy to me is dope, but I'm going to give the Energy S a nope. Doesn't mean that the Energy S is not good. I know a lot of people really love this paddle, but when you compare it to other similar paddles with similar specs, it just doesn't stand out aside from the looks. At its price of $170 USD at the time of recording this video, you got some stiff competition from the likes of 6-0, Ronbus, Vatic, Bread and Butter, and Volair. Like pretty much any other elongated thermoform paddle out there. They're all offering paddles with, similar performance and specs, and some of them at a lower cost. Now, the original Energy, which comes in at a cheaper price of $150 USD, makes it a tad bit more compelling. The Energy is somewhat unique, and I would personally choose the Energy over the Energy S. Now, keep in mind that it has traits and characteristics that just happen to align with what I personally like in a paddle. I don't think it's for everyone. I play a fair amount of singles and enjoy the higher swing weight from the Energy. It just feels more comfortable to me. And also, if you are a person who enjoys like guiding your shots, meaning you prefer to push through and out on your shots versus swinging across your body quickly, the Energy just feels so great for that kind of ground stroke. However, for most people, the Energy S will be a better pick overall between the two paddles. But if you are considering the Energy S, you also have a lot of other options that are comparable to consider as well. All in all, I think the Pickleball Apes did a great job with these paddles, introducing something a little different that performs well in all areas, and I'm excited to see what they come up with next. All right, that's it for this video. Till next time, play better. Peace.